If it's our final show of the year, let's go out with a bang, talking about one of the biggest movies, and in my opinion, the best movie of the year. The Iron Claw is out in theaters. It is opening weekend. And joining us is a man who played a big role in this movie, not only on screen, but off screen as well. Every part of this movie with the Iron Claw, Chavo Guerrero Jr. Chavo, it's an honor to get to talk to you. And I need to ask you something. Knowing the history of the family, when you found out that the release week was Christmas week, did you go, hey guys, maybe let's move it a couple weeks before or after?
You know, oh man, when I found out that this was the A24's Christmas release, that's like more pressure got on me. I was kind of like, whoa, okay, this is big. This isn't just something that's going right to video and you
Yeah.
know, or whatever, like this is gonna be this is really, really big. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, at the same time, you're kind of like, oh, all right, so the wrestling world is going to is going to see this. So I hope that my stuff was spot on, and I really hope that it was. There's a lot of things out of your control, that right. You hope that it's an awesome movie. So first time I saw it, it was hands down, man. I walked out feeling really good. My chest was pumped up, going, wow, this is awesome.
And I think a special thing too is if you look at this year in particular, all right, first off, look at Hollywood, look at some of the biggest names in their history and how they come from wrestling. Look at the fact that wrestling is on television 6 days a week. And to cap off this crazy year with sellout crowds and record breaking and all that stuff, is you get a story on one of these legacy families in wrestling. And you talk about watching that movie and leaving and feeling good. Could you talk to me about how proud you felt that you did justice to one of these legacy families in wrestling, just like your family, by the way?
Yeah, the Guerreros and the Von Erichs have had huge history together, both being from Texas wrestling families. We wrestle for them, they wrestle for us. So we know it's a competitive rivalry, our entire lives growing up, really. So be able for me to be able to help tell this story of a family, it's like I'm telling my own story. It's very much like that. It's very much like in fact, I contacted the Von Erichs before, like as I was making this, and told them, "Hey guys, just so you know, I will be making this and put the attention to detail like I was making it of my family."
No, that's amazing. And I know just getting ready for this interview, hearing you talk about how in in different times and in different things that's involved wrestling that you've been a part of, it's kind of been like, hey, I'm training you for this spot and that's it. Whereas in this movie, it was different. Sean was like, no, I want them to go for 20 minutes. I'll pick and choose what I want from that. So that kind of changes the training dynamic completely. If you could kind of go into the process with everyone, because obviously everyone's different, how they learn, how they pick up things. So how did you approach this?
Yeah, man, everybody shoots differently. Sometimes, like you said, sometimes they want to see, 20 seconds. Okay, I just need 20 seconds and, we're working the headlock spot. Okay, great. Well, Sean was a wrestling fan, and he wants to get the whole match and get that on film, and then he pick and choose what he wanted to in the film. So having 10-minute matches sometimes, you know, um, it's definitely a lot more difficult. For me, it's easy. So when I did play, the Sheik and Russell Jack, the first match of the movie, Sean wanted to set the tone of the movie. So we had, some instructions as far as how to structure that match, but really was on me to get it done. And that I think just set the tone for all of the actors as well to watch. Like, okay, I see how it's done now. Instead of putting, an actor who's never done it with just another wrestler who's never really done it either on film, because it'd be marrying two different, such a hybrid. Acting and wrestling is one thing, wrestling and wrestling is one thing, but to
Yeah.
have them together and hybrid, it's such a different thing. But for me, who's done them both, to kind of set the tone as everybody say, "Oh, that's how it's done." Okay, I get it. Okay, we can do this. It's possible. It's a confidence builder, And I would tell people, "Hey, if you messed up, don't worry about it. Stop, just reset, just keep going. They're still rolling." That would take a lot of their anxiety out. It wasn't like we were wrestling at WrestleMania where there's like there's live.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
And then too, I go, it's never going to go the same. I go, I would say like Zach, you should do your dancing routines from choreography from, to High School Musical. Did it always go the same? No, it was always different. Like, exactly. This is always going to be different. You're going to come out of that role different. You're going to be facing different. So sometimes you have to pivot and face that camera again. Like, oh, I would have little tricks, like little hacks, and tell them, okay, if you're going too slow, you're going the right speed. That's what you want. Because once the fans and I know there are plants in there. There's a bunch of extras on, at ringside, but they're truly reacting. Something about being in a wrestling ring and getting them watching wrestling and falling and doing moves, they're truly reacting. When they'd say cut, everybody would stand up and clap and like, whoa, and really cheer, and really, really cheer, like, wow, it was amazing. And then the actors would be like, wow, what an adrenaline rush. I've never felt this before. And I explain that's what that times 100 at like WrestleMania. They're like, wow, that's amazing. So I would get them prepared for all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of going on and on, but there's so much to it, like to that question. There's so much like a Jenga puzzle. It's always like all these things, like playing Tetris in the ring with actors and their abilities, and then imitating real life wrestlers. It wasn't just wrestlers you're making up. You're imitating these mannerisms of this iconic wrestling family, and then what the director wants to see, and how the DP wants to shoot it, and how the camera guy's in there. And there's so much stuff in there. So it's there's a lot to that answer there, brother.
No, Chavo, I appreciate it. So look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go speed round through all that, and you talk about all the different processes to bring it into life, into camera. I want to ask you. You guys did one of the premieres in Dallas, and then there was the press conference. And Jeremy Allen White's answer to what he learned about wrestling went viral. When you sit there and you listen to him, and you see him give such a great answer, how did that make you feel?
First of all, I thought, what a great student he is, and a great student of the game, but also what a great teacher he had. No, but really, those are the little things that I was kind of telling I was like, he gets it, yes, and because he's the pro, and it's what he's doing already. It's not a script, it's not the lines, it's not the words, it's how you deliver those words and the pauses you take in between those words that really, really hit home with that scene. It's just like wrestling. It's not the wrestling moves, it's what he does in between the wrestling moves that really are sometimes more important. And he got that. And I heard the wrestling community really just give praise for that. I love that.
No, that's amazing. You talk about a guy who's really getting it together in the ring, and he was a producer here on the film. I want to know just some of your interactions with MJF.
I knew him from before, from AEW. Great guy. I loved him before, and then he became kind of bigger in who he was, and he was awesome. I wish that some of those scenes, the full scenes were in there, because he was really, really great. But he's another guy that's just he is where he is because he's just talent.
Amazing. And then two more. When it comes to your family, if you would want to bring the story of the family onto film for people to watch, would you want to do a movie? Would it be a series in a perfect world? How would it play out?
Right. So I've gotten that question a lot, and everybody's like, "Hey, where's the Guerrero movie coming out now?" And I'm like, well, first of all, let's focus on the Von Erich movie and the Iron Claw.
Absolutely.
That is where we're at right now for sure. But in the future, there's a lot of buzz talking about a Guerrero movie, or it just depends. I've now seen the enormity of how big a feature film is compared to a docuseries or a Netflix show. It's much bigger. It's much, much, much bigger. This is getting so much press because of just the massiveness of the story, but of it being a feature film, and how good it is. So, yes, I hope we do a movie of the wrestling of the Guerreros one of these days.
And I'll close this out with this. Earlier this week, there got news that Bray Wyatt, and obviously the unfortunate passing this year, but that the WWE signed him to a Legends contract that made sure that his kids were good in terms of the merchandise and stuff like that, which is amazing. And obviously, you're not you're not the full person in charge of everything going on with Eddie and his children, but to the best of your knowledge, are Eddie's kids on a similar deal with some of the merch and stuff that WWE sells, or do you know?
No, and I just got that question today. Somebody said on X, formerly Twitter, talking about that, and to reclarify, not that the WWE is not paying the merchandise on Eddie. They obviously have to. They obviously are.
Yeah.
His children aren't really seeing that, and it was unfortunate, And this is just coming from them that I've talked to. I'm not their banker, but it's unfortunate, because I really think that they should be reaping the benefit of Eddie's legacy, because his legacy is huge and strong and is still bigger to this than ever before. And I really wish that they were the beneficiaries of that, But kudos to WWE for doing that for Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt's family. That shows what kind of company they are.
No, absolutely. And kudos to you and everyone involved in making this film. I said it at the beginning. I'll say it again. Movie of the year. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to talk to you, Chavo. Next time we'll have more time. But until then, thank you for it.
Respect, man. Thank you for having me.
Yo, hoping you and yours had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and now it is Black Friday, and as you do your shopping, I'm in flight to Chicago, Illinois, lucky enough to be able to cover Survivor Series, and I wouldn't be able to do that without the good folks at Zip Chair. And now, watch how I combine the two. I told you it's Black Friday, and Zip Chair, if you don't know, makes some of the best furniture in the business. So here's the deal. You want to be the MVP this Christmas season and you want to give the best gift, whether it's a huge sports fan, why don't you give them the bar stools for the basement with their favorite team's logo? You know what I'm saying? All right, the Mets, the Lakers, it doesn't matter. NBA, MLB, MLS, NFL, collegiate, they got it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to get the recliner, the couch, all the same, all comfortable. But then, what I specialize in, I'm in my office, I'm in my chair, I'm at my desk a lot, editing videos, playing games, replying to emails, whatever. A lot of hours spent in that seat. And that seat needs to be comfy, and that seat needs to be a Zip Chair. Use that discount code Adrian to save 10% off and be the MVP of this holiday season.